Was it the Wimbledon final this weekend?
Oh, well, that's what I think. That's what I was just saying on Instagram.
What do you think that was?
No, but I wondered what you were doing. I thought you were going to eat some crisps. Because that's all I know about what happened at Wimbledon. That Brad Pitt ate crisps. How cool is that? Some people have been disgusted and outraged.
Why?
That he was eating crisps at Wimbledon.
What sort of crisps
when
was
he
it?
could have chosen a healthy snack. There was a great tweet actually. Somebody saying, I think it's an absolute disgrace that Brad Pitt was eating.
Hang on.
Oh. $40.
Have you had your medication this morning? So there was a really good tweet. A woman said, I'm furious that Brad Pitt is eating crisps at Wimbledon when I've got a really nice roast dinner here ready for him.
Oh, ready for him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, come on, look. The elephant in the room is, what flavour do we think he was eating? What do you think that's?
Now, I don't know whether you know this rumour or whether this is just within the showbiz world, guys. Mark will know this rumour within the showbiz world. First of all, that he's a charming man. He's always lovely. We should tell our Brad Pitt story. Because some people won't know our Brad Pitt Angelina story.
Jesus, it was
you
quite
tell
a
us,
moment.
Just say yes or no, whether you've heard our Brad Pitt Angelina story.
I think they've heard it.
Well, just say yes, no, and if most people have.
Elsa Pop says defo, salt and vinegar. If you're listening, the names we're reading out are everyone on the live chat on YouTube.
Welcome if you are on podcast as well. So a well-known rumour in the showbiz world about Brad Pitt, as I was saying. First of all, he's lovely. He's charming. People say lovely things about him. But that he is a bit whiffy.
I've heard that.
He's a bit... So, I think he was eating cheese and onion.
What, to mask the...
Well, no, in that he doesn't care if he smells a bit. Some people don't. I know a few people that don't mind their smell. Genuinely don't mind their smell.
I've heard.
And they say, I don't understand it. I'm a human and I've got different smells.
I've heard this is a bit of a thing amongst some A-list male actors, actually. It's just au naturel. This is me. Take me as you find me type thing.
A very charming, lovely, beautiful smelling person told us that.
Prawn cocktail for something a little fishy, says Wendy Stewart. Do you think it was a prawn cocktail type?
Oh, wow. If he's a bit whiffy, maybe he would go down the prawn cocktail route.
It's funny, isn't it? Because cheese and onion is one of my favourite flavours of crisps, but I draw a line in the sand in not eating them in public.
Well, I'm public. You eat in front of me.
No, I don't. I eat chicken.
Yeah, but they've got their own very particular smell, Mark, the chicken crisps. Sorry to tell you.
Oh, no. What smell is that?
It's a bit weird.
Is it?
Who knows what I mean about chicken crisps?
I think I know what you mean.
Maybe we could stop you eating fucking crisps every night instead of having a proper dinner. I said to him, would you like dinner? No, thanks. 2 hours later, he's got a multi-pack. Multiverse pack.
Multiverse. Money!
Smoky bacon. Oh, smoky.
They don't make them anymore, do they?
Yes, they do. Oh, lemon and scampi, they stink.
Scampi fries.
Oh, maybe you're right. Who said beef and horseradish? Dawny. Maybe because he wanted to do the British thing and it was a Sunday. I like it.
Who said that? Dawny?
Dawny.
Clever thinking. What brand of crisps did he eat, though?
I can't eat egg mayonnaise sandwiches without cheese and onion crisps in them.
Do you think he's eating Lay's?
Not in Wimbledon.
I hope he's eating a packet
Unless
of
he's brought
Walkers.
them with him from abroad.
Beef crisps.
What are people going for beef?
Cheese and onion tato, 100%, says Zoe Agnew. Walker's smoky bacon Christos. Don't like chicken crisps. Who the hell are you? What if it was Tyrrell's vegetable crisps?
Oh,
Why did I say it like that?
Vegetable. That is what he doesn't smoke spliff anymore, does he? So maybe he has gone all vegetable.
Are you saying that like he's a killjoy?
No, but maybe he's gone all vegetable crisps.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just looking after himself now. But don't be fooled by vegetable crisps.
Oh my God, they're sometimes...
Don't be fooled.
Well, sometimes when I'm down the crisp aisle and I'm thinking I want a salty hit of salt, I think pork scratchings or vegetable crisps.
Pork scratch.
At which point I realise it's not about the crisp, it's about the salt.
So just stick your finger in the salt cellar.
That's not fun. Is it about a crisp? Can you give us, you're the foodie, give us an intimate understanding of what it is about a crisp that makes them so addictive to so many different people.
Well, I think anything fried very, very perfectly
Right,
is very few people can refuse.
right.
So they are fried to perfection, aren't they? I mean, if you actually think of the genius of a
It's
crisp,
astonishing.
that it's kept in a bag, sealed in a bag, so that perfect crispness and with the perfect amount of salt.
How does
And
it stay all
then
over
you've got the
everything?
perfect crunch. And because each individual crisp is gone in a split second, well, apart from Quavers, which are just cheesy air, a split second, you just have to have more. It's like having a millionth of an orgasm. You're going to ask to have more, aren't you?
Well, do you?
Well, if you only had a millionth of it, you're going to want a bit
You want
more.
the whole orgasm?
Shut up, because now you're going disgusing.
That-
Mark, no,
that could-
don't look at me like that.
That could explain why I like to put so many crisps in my mouth, because I want one big fat orgasm. Don't I? I want a crispy orgasm.
You want a mouthgasm.
I want a crisp-gasm.
Orange fingers, says Rachel Redmond. She's brought into the room. What's it?
Orange finger's not that kind of
She's
orgasm.
brought into the room. What's it? I don't think a movie star can eat what's it because they're always wearing like billionaires beige or something, aren't they? And it would just end up all over.
Yeah, but the terrible thing about what's it is, and you have to accept this, it literally sticks on the top of your fingers, not just like slightly, but
so much.
you have to scrape it with your teeth, don't you, off your fingers. I don't think Brad Pitt would go that far.
I don't think we'll have time for the Brad and Angelina story. So what we're going to do is, because we are just shamelessly getting people to follow us on our @CoffeeMoaning Instagram, we're going to tell the story and we're going to put it up on there. And it's a good story. It's a very good story. Like, I was this close to Angelina checking out whether she had open pores. I'm not going to tell you here and now whether she did.
And I was right like this up to Brad, going, fuck
he
me,
was
you're
right.
tall.
He was right. But not only is the story about them, but the story continues on with Kay Adams
Oh, that's
for
funny.
over a year.
That's very funny.
And with our own children. It's a great story. So we're going to record it and put it up on Coffee Moaning for you.
So the packet of crisps with the cut the little black salt sachet. So shake. That's
Salt and shake.
Salt and shake. That could be rebranded with this new orgasmic aspect,
But
couldn't
the
it?
thing is with the salt and shake, and again, the brilliance of a bag crisp,
Shake
the
and come
salt
again.
doesn't sit on every single millimetre of that crisp like a bag of crisps does.
Apart from every now and then you get a batch of McCoy's cheddar that never ever tastes cheddary enough, and you feel like going back in and emptying the entire contents on the actual sort of newsagent's desk and go, this is outrageous.
There is something very wrong with McCoy's crisps.
What is
and
it?
I think they're more baked. And what happens is you get a taste of old potato in your, because you know we taste it with our nose. So so you get the taste on your tongue, but then a like dry potato starch flavour goes into your nose and finishes it off
And
badly.
you'd think that they'd be more satisfying going with the orgasmic analogy because they're ribbed.
There's two things that I wonder why I married you. One, you like McCoy's, and two, your favourite chocolate is Galaxy.
And I love a good knobbing.
Right, move on.
What's it with orange? Look at this, Victoria Moore. I went to my friend's for tea when I was a kid and her mum made spaghetti cheese and smoky bacon crisps. It was actually amazing.
Spaghetti cheese.
Spaghetti cheese why can't we have crisps embedded within dishes?
Oh, I do. I've done that in the past. Oh, I'll do one.
Oh, we'll do one then.
Yeah, it's really nice. Crisps,
do one.
Crisps as a topping.
Yes.
Very nice.
Well, no.
Yes.
No.
But you must put it on as you're about to eat it, otherwise you're going to get a soggy crisp.
I was going to say, you can't put crisps in soup, can you? Oh, I fucking want a bag
Everyone
of crisps
wants crisps now. That's what
Jesus
people say.
Christ. Can we bring back skips? Skips were funny, weren't they? You put them on the end of your tongue and they dissolve.
Skips have the same problem. The flavour
Quavers.
doesn't go all the way through the skips. So when you first put it on your tongue, it's good, but then when you bite into it, it's gone. It's polystyrene.
Who thinks the frazzle has now got this strange sheen to it that it never had in the 70s?
It has. Absolutely. I've
What is
noticed
that about?
The frazzle used
Why has
to
it got a
look-
sheen?
I don't know, it must be some new chemical they've put on it, but it's taken something away from the action on the tongue.
Tongue action. Tongue action. You need good tongue action with a frazzle.
Tell
And
you
what I've
what,
also
it's a
noticed, it's a complex thing.
thing.
And also the frazzle, it's the matte finish of the 70s frazzle versus the gloss finish.
don't want gloss.
You don't want gloss.
Take the gloss off our frazzles.
Yeah, and get it back to that frizzy, frazzly, raw matte. Yeah.
One of my favourite things I've ever done on Loose Women was when we, not so long ago, they said, we're going to do crisp sandwiches. I was like...
Fucking hell. Well, we had one for Christmas, didn't we?
And I had hunks of bread like this. I put the butter that thick, and I had, check out my Nigella Lawson crisp thing, which that's how I made it. Like I made it on the Nigella Lawson piss take I did.
Oh, yes, that was fun.
And oh my God, I ate everybody else's crisp sandwich as well. And guess what?
What?
No, I'm not going to say that actually.
Why?
No, it's a horrible detail. I'm not going to say it. Be careful with crisp sandwiches. My mum always used to say to us that she knew a girl who died from a crisp sandwich.
You said that the day that we all had chicken-flavoured crisp sandwiches once. You said, don't choke on it. And I'm like, if I
Because
said that...
she said, now
don't
I
like-
realise it must have been a
I
total
tried
lie,
Doritos again the other day. I didn't like them.
that this crisp spiked in somebody's throat and they bled to death.
Oh, fucking hell.
She lied. My mum lied.
Was this the same person who dived into a pool, belly flopped, and their stomach exploded?
Yeah, that was the other thing. She said to us, you can't swim straight after lunch because she saw somebody's stomach
She
split
saw them
open.
explode.
She did.
She's
She's
what
liar.
she said. She said it to me. Over her eye, over her glasses.
Don't you think the most annoying thing is when you say stuff to your parents, somebody was talking about this on the radio, a memory.
Yeah.
And they go, that didn't happen.
Yeah, my mum says that all the
Oh
time.
my God. My mum
she,
told
Christopher?
me that, let's check it out next time she's round. Let's say, Mum, do
Yeah.
you remember when you told us about
Yeah.
the person bleeding to death from a crisp sandwich? She's
Yeah.
going to go, I never said any such thing.
Natasha
Bet you.
Tiramos has got a great new strapline for the frazzle. The frazzle has a dazzle.
That is brilliant. Take the dazzle off our frazzle. We were happy
Yeah.
before.
We want some razzle with our frazzle.
Yeah, we don't want dazzle, we want razzle. Anyway,
frazzle.
that's almost 13 minutes talking about crisps.
I've gone all over a quiver with my quavers.
That's how we're doing Wimbledon today, guys.
Sorry, I just got excited. Show us your skips rather than nips.
Oh, God.
I don't know. I'm riffing. Okay, so there's our crisp Monster Munch.
Don't say Monster Munch.
Don't say munch.
Do you know what? I love Monster Munch.
Twiglets.
I love Flaming Hot. I love Pickle Onion.
I don't
But
like pickle onion.
apparently,
What?
they are the most unhealthy crisps you
And
can
they
have.
suffer from the same frazzle, shine and sheen.
They've got something in them. I can't remember what it is, but
Yeah.
it's not good. Step
Never heard of-
away from the Monster Munch, kids.
I'm trying to think. There was another packet of something I saw the other day. Oh, do you remember the little pom bears? The pom
Oh,
bears.
they're lovely. I
hate them.
used to love stealing pom bears from the
you?
kids, and they would cry no.
The girls love them. Whenever I see a pom bear,
Oh, go look over there.
whenever I see a pom bear, I want to punch it.
Oh, I love a pom
I
bear.
want to punch it until it's
There's
crumbs.
something about the potato-ness of it, even though it's never been near a fucking potato. A pom bear has never been near a potato.
It's not potato. It's like a McDonald's potato. Although they are potatoes. I hate
Oh, Minky Moo's very posh. She
was gonna
likes
say.
the cider vinegar Tyrrells.
cider vinegar. What are they?
Have you ever had those Spanish ones? Are we actually going to talk about the news?
Oh,
We're
let's
gonna do
just
half
move
hour
on.
crisps.
I'm just going to finish on Piper's cheese. That's it.
Potatoes are gorgeous. Our lovely Irish, one of our lovely Irish followers sent us a pack
Oh, yes.
of gorgeous Irish things. And in that box was Tatoes. And actually Zoe always bangs on about Tatoes. They were bloody delicious.
It was you, James, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
So, plan to crack down on rip-off degrees. Who here has what they would possibly have described now as a Mickey Mouse degree?
Yeah, who feels cheated
who
by
feels like-
what they were told their degree was going to be? Does anybody feel cheated?
Now, let's be clear. Mickey Mouse, what makes a Mickey Mouse
Yeah, what does
degree?
it mean, Mark, when they keep
Well,
saying
they're talking about degrees that are just esoteric and ridiculous and so like a degree in Barbies, and it's often the right-wing press will run at some aspect that admittedly lots of universities and lots of colleges do run all sorts of ludicrous courses about ludicrous things. That's not, it's not beat around the bush. But there will be possibly a course called Barbie, and its role in society or something like that. And of course, someone will be, oh, what's the fucking point of that? Why are you going to college and spending £9,000 a year on Barbie, just studying Barbie? So
There's
it's
somebody I know's daughter got into Oxford by writing. I don't know, what is it when you apply? Or was it her? Or was it? Would you have to write a whole essay on that? Or would that have been at
dissertation?
the end? Something like.
MA,
Where's the
dissertation,
dissertation?
thesis?
Is that at the end?
Dissertations tend to be part of your own. I mean, it's different for all different
Right.
courses.
So she wrote it on something like that, but it was like genius.
Yeah, well, this
Yeah.
is but this is the thing. You see, this is really complicated and really tricky to kind of get into. This is the idea, and I think there's a before you think you know where we're going with this. You possibly don't. Rishi Sunak is talking about. Let's just tell you what the story is. Rishi Sunak is talking about wanting to crack down on what he calls rip-off university degrees that essentially, kids sign up to, pay the same amount in their student loans for years, or don't pay the same amount in their student loans, and then the state pays the student loans interest for years. Degrees that don't essentially guarantee them work or don't guarantee them a sort of good income. That don't deliver on the promise that was perhaps made at the beginning of the course, i.e. this will improve your lot, improve your class, improve your prospects, etc., etc., etc.
Somebody was just saying that, so it doesn't necessarily refer to these courses where people complain about only getting like 8 hours contact time.
No.
Somebody
This is
was just
different.
saying that she loved her course, though she did only get 8 hours contact time. But loved it.
So
Sorry,
there's a
I couldn't
difference
see
here.
your
So
name.
there's a difference here between being ripped off. You could be ripped off by a university on any course, right? So that could be any course, from medicine to economics to English to art, whatever. You could be ripped off. So that's one thing. That's different. A rip-off degree or a Mickey Mouse degree is the perception that colleges are charging a lot of money to students to do such esoteric, odd, sort of rarefied subjects, often, though not always, often pivoting around, unfortunately, the arts and around sort of... So, for example, there was a piece in the Telegraph a few months back saying, there's a course all about they're studying Happy Valley. And yeah, you see that as a headline, you go, fucking hell, really? Why are you studying, you're paying money to study Happy Valley? But then when you understood that it was part of a course about script writing or media, what have you...
So it's that red meat, let's get people angry.
Yeah, get people angry about aspects of. That said, and I feel quite strongly about this, I think a lot of what Rishi Sunak is saying is actually, I'm loath to say it, is kind of right. The Tories are essentially saying that we need to get away from this idea of saying that the only route through life is to get a degree. And I think anyone who's sensible and reasonable and rational for years would have said the same. Polytechnics served a purpose, apprenticeships serve a purpose, just not taking degrees and just simply going straight into, often a sort of career path or whatever is often better and faster and more efficient to kind of get on in life than necessarily taking a degree.
Apprenticeships now. I listened to this
Yeah,
whole
lots of
story of this
degrees
person.
have,
God,
yeah.
she loved it so much.
Yeah.
And then the company that she was an apprentice for paid for some of the course.
Yeah, exactly.
And then she got this amazing job, and she goes from where her family had been to what to the life that she got. And I thought, my God, that sounds so incredible.
So, for example,
What a
someone
brilliant opportunity.
Yeah, and I mean, I think what often gets conflated here, there are the degree courses, and then within every degree, you get lots of what you call modules and courses. And if you start to drill into what some of those individual courses are called within these degrees and what they focus on, you're going to start to get all sorts of topics that the right-wing press and anyone who's got any vague suspicion of the arts is going to go, that's fucking ludicrous. Well, so there's that. And so what they're wanting to do is they're wanting to clamp down on universities that are sort of offering these degrees unless they can prove that there's some back-end advantage to it, i.e. 80% of people who take the course get a job, what's the earning potential, what's the earning level of that job, etc. They want to put in place lots and lots of rules and regs to stop them being able to just flog these courses.
Of university.
Yeah,
and young people do need
good.
some protection of
Yeah,
that,
they do.
because we do hear a lot of complaints. And like you always say, university mustn't just be seen as a means to a job, and that's the only way that it can be validated, of course. But also, there are a lot of people that is literally what they want. They want to have a different life. than was mapped out for them. And unfortunately, fucking Labour has made that very fucking difficult because of the cost of it.
Well,
It's
let's not beat around the
outrageous.
bush. It was Tony Blair brought in the student loans and the fees and all that kind of stuff.
Can't believe
I mean,
that.
you did. There
So
was
upset by
forever. I mean, I think there was a period of time where it was very trendy to kind of flog courses that just brought lots of people in. Media. I mean, the irony is that the media is a huge
does it
part
mean?
of everyday
Yeah.
life. Yeah, the media affects all of us. It impacts on all of us. So many of us earn from the media in different ways, whether it be social media, whether it be conventional media or dying medias or new medias, incoming media, all this kind of stuff. So
This
the,
is my
the
way you
danger.
could maybe be a lecturer in a university, Mark. Maybe I could get a cap and everything.
yeah, well-
this is my only way I will ever get into university. I could go and lecture on social media.
Well, then you'd be that, but they would probably call that a Mickey Mouse course. But this is the thing. So many Mickey Mouse courses or things that are called Mickey Mouse courses are engaged with or are analysing or exploring or looking into things in our day-to-day lives. And they encourage an analysis of how we live in our modern day life. Obviously, there are huge swathes of students doing these courses. And these courses are the courses that deliver the highest sort of success rate when it comes to earnings and job opportunities. Medicine is right at the top. Economics
Really?
is next. Maths
I
is
just
next.
heard a consultant on
Yeah.
the news saying that things are absolutely dire and they're all being poached to go to another country.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's
They've
why.
had no
but that's
rise
why
in
on-
15
yeah,
years.
but they're not talking about in the UK. They're talking about what happens for the students. So this is why, they're being poached. So if you do medicine, economics,
Oh, right.
maths, geography, I was surprised by pharmacology, engineering. These have the best returns on investment. And I think the bigger question to be asked here, and I got all kind of at first.
I just ask you something?
Let me just finish this thought. I got really kind of hot under the collar about this, and I was just thinking about it this morning. At first, I was thinking, no, education isn't just about earning. It isn't just about earning and earning potential. And then I paused and I thought, well, actually, it wasn't once upon a time, but unfortunately, the university system has been made that now. And so now it is that. My advice, and I think Rishi Sunak's advice too, is for certain sectors, university possibly isn't the right place to go to. A la the creative arts. University as in conventional
So where
university.
do you think people should go? for
Well,
creative
apprentice.
arts?
Well, I would say that I would class things like acting schools and music schools and things like that alongside. I put them in the apprenticeship side of things. I put them in the
And
poly
what's
side, the
difference,
art college side, and
art
that kind of stuff.
college and going to university to do art. What's the difference?
Well, you've got foundation courses, and unfortunately, most of these places also offer degrees. I think what we have to do is culturally get ourselves off
Out
this
of the idea
idea,
of the degree.
out of this idea that you have to have you have to spend 3 years taking a degree, doing all. I mean, at the end of the day, the reason the system is there too is this is that weird thing. They've got the system, and they need to sustain the system.
Yeah.
And it's a self-sustaining system.
Yeah.
I remember when I started the PhD that I started, which, a classic case in point, my PhD I started was David Cronenberg and how his work sort of related to the metaphysical poets. I mean, it was very intense. We were going to write a book, we were going to interview the director, and it was going to be an exploration of literature and film and poetry and all this kind of stuff. That would be seen as, well, what need is that to anyone? You could argue absolutely none, but I would say walk into any bookshop, and if you look at all of the variety of stuff that's on offer to you, you could argue, if you just home in on any one of them, who needs that? Who needs that?
Yeah.
Who needs that? Who needs that? So it's very hard.
We've got this crazy.
Who's
things
deciding?
Like nurses now have to have a degree before they can be a nurse. I mean, when did that become a thing? Because they used to go just to nursing schools, didn't they? So they're now getting into a whole load of other debt before they even start to then go into workplace where there's no way that they're ever, going to be able to pay that debt back, but even actually have a good standard of living.
I agree.
It's so messed up.
So at first I got really I was like, oh God, it's Rishi.
Aerated.
No, but it's really good. I think it's really important song. And then I stopped and I looked at what Rishi was actually saying, and I thought, actually, hang on a minute. We have become slavishly attached to this idea, this kind of, what's the word, sort of conveyor belt of just the degree is the thing, Absolutely not. I think get more people out, get more people into the world.
But it's like you've always said, that in the old, it was just a continuation of education. I mean, I never wanted to go to university. I didn't grow up thinking about it, or it was just never going to be my path. But if you are somebody that loves, formal education and learning for learning's sake, because you love learning, how can somebody from a less privileged well, you didn't come from a privileged background, but how can somebody that comes from a family that's really struggling ever even dream of that? You know.
Well, they would argue that's why the student loan thing's been brought in. Everyone can get the loan and everyone can do it. I mean...
And you really don't have to pay it back
Well, no,
unless you're earning £50,000.
You have to earn a certain threshold, and some people, just will never, ever hit that. And I think that's one of the things, obviously, because the state pays. Otherwise, the government is looking at it and going, well, okay, where's the... And there is an economic consequence to
how many
this.
people actually pay it back?
Not a vast amount. I think the total bill, I heard, is something like 140 billion.
Oh my God!
Yeah, no, the US has a massive student loan crisis. Huge crisis where they were looking to go...
So I didn't realise the majority of people never pay it back.
The threshold... in a way you could say, well, the threshold is high enough. So no, so the state picks that up. Right. And, so student loans are... the whole thing is a bit weird. So on the one hand, we're forcing people to do something that the state then has to take responsibility for. They can't do it. They feel stressed by it. They're encumbered by it. They haven't really learned what they wanted to learn. And so I'm beginning to think that, should university, why don't they make a point of just saying university is for you to go in and streamline, go fast, earn lots. This is the most potential you can do here. You'll have a few arts courses, because if you go back to this list of the top 10, right down the bottom beneath agriculture is the creative arts. So, of course, that's the worry. My first worry is always when you're dealing with a government. When you look at the top three things, medicine, economics, maths and engineering, aren't all those things part of Rishi Sunak's family background? I think it wasn't his dad a pharmacist and he was an economist and he's maths and he was a chancellor. Do you know what I mean? So there's all of that. And then creative arts, they're going to be less sensitive, aren't they, to the creative arts? Now, the creative arts might not reward people individually, but the creative arts might not reward people individually, but collectively, culturally, it's a huge defining part of your society, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So it's really
Being
hard
human.
Yeah. Okay.
In a future AI world.
Yeah. Heat waves. You were saying everyone was talking about them at work on Friday.
I was saying, because obviously over the last week we've been hearing, haven't we, about these horrendous levels that we've got to in Europe. And I keep saying to Mark, I really think we should talk about the heat wave. And he kept going, no. Anyway,
well, only because we talked briefly about it last week.
On Friday. Everyone was talking about it. Okay, so let's just park to one side the terrifying prospect we have here for our planet, which is literally on fire. It's people's holidays. People have saved... La
Palma. Did you see the photographs on La Palma? I thought it was La Palma in Mallorca, but it was the island of La Palma. Photographs of tourists being evacuated and so many... you're looking at severe problems.
And I remember when we went away in June, God, we were lucky, because the week before in Mallorca it had been raining. Then we were there for a week and it was lovely. But on the last day of sunbathing, I said to Mark, it feels really weird. There's something. It was like... But anyway, just all my WhatsApp groups, all my friends that are away. How's France? Boiling. Actually, a bit too hot to be honest. Actually, I don't think I can bear it. It's around 32 to 33. My other friend, 40 here in Mallorca. I'll be on the bathroom floor hugging the tiles. My other friend, sweating my tits off here in Malta, and it's like really hard. So I just thought obviously parking to one side, climate change and all of that. I just feel so sorry for people that have booked and paid for their holidays and they're going to get there and it's just like, you can't go out.
Yeah. Some people... I just saw someone here saying, where's our... C. Gilbert, where's our heat wave? Don't you think it's curious that as creatures we are... in a weird... You begin to realise how civilizations come to an end, don't you? Because on the one hand, we are all in agreement that it's catastrophic, atrocious, frightening and worrying what's happening to the planet. And yet all of us are secretly wishing that we had a bit of that heat wave here now.
Because that's just
even though if it came, it would be a symbol of yet more cataclysm.
Yeah, but actually this El Nino has happened before, isn't it, 100 years ago?
Oh, you're starting to sound like Trump.
No, I'm not. I'm 100% a believer of climate change and I'm terrified. I'm not at all. But there are weather events at. I
I
the thing
agree.
is-
I mean, you can argue that everything's cyclical, but
apparently there is only 1% chance that we could have weather like that this year. And when you think about last year and how much we hated it, it was so miserable, wasn't it? That level of heat.
they are
It was
talking about
just
there being
awful.
another. There's going to be a ping of heat in August here for sure.
Yeah, it's going to get better, but it's not. It's going to be. But I mean, we can't help it, can we? I mean, the sun comes out and people feel better. I mean, I do now. I never if the sun pops out at a weird time and it's a bit hot, I do always go, oh God, climate change. You know, I go to the fear.
Yeah.
But you can't help but feel better when the weather's a bit nice.
Well, just to add to all of our woes and our worries and everything else, temperatures are absolutely ludicrous everywhere.
Not everywhere.
Look at this. Well, I mean, look at Spain. You don't have to be a genius or speak Spanish to read. There's a map here of Spain. Hang on, I just wanted to find this story. Highs of 48 degrees Celsius, 48
In Sicily and
Sardinia.
Have you seen the photographs of the beaches?
Yeah.
I mean, they're just.
The Acropolis has been closed, but look at this. Just in
I can
about
imagine.
15 minutes ago, China's recorded its hottest ever temperature in the country as the temperature surpassed 52 degrees centigrade in Xinjiang district. So for me, things like this, when you see headlines like China records hottest ever temperature as mercury passes 52, and an hour earlier, death toll from South Korean floods rises to 40, you're beginning to get the montage feeling that you get in those films of an incoming catastrophe. And meanwhile, you go into town and there's nowhere to plug an electric car in, and then you hear electric cars are worse for the environment, and it feels like we're literally trying to dry ourselves in a shower with a flannel.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's worrying. It's worrying. Okay, selfies and the.
Did you see this, guys?
I've posted a photo on our coffee moaning
Unbelievable.
thing.
What a stupid cow. I'm sorry.
But tell us I couldn't believe what you said her punishment. This is a fan who was taking a selfie at the Tour de France.
So she stood out at a point to take a bloody selfie with the cyclist going past and caused a
massive
I mean, this
pile-up.
could have been a death.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
the speed that they're going. But not only that, all that work, all that training, 20 bike pile-up. She was arrested. I was just about to say, what country was this? France.
Yeah, to be fair, the Tour de France has sometimes taken place outside of France. Yeah.
So anyway, so she was arrested and then fined €1.
I can't believe that. You know what I thought when you said €1? When you told me this earlier? I thought I really need €1 for the shopping trolley at Sainsbury's.
But what do you think about that?
What a
€1.
div.
Why
What
a
div.
euro?
I don't understand
Maybe
that.
because there is no law against taking a selfie. Maybe there wasn't a law that they could charge her with for what she'd done, a blithering idiot. I mean, is there a law against being a blithering idiot in France?
So the accident caused several teams to urge fans to show more.
Respect.
It said. Oh no! In 2021, a female fan holding up a sign for her grandparents was fined £1,000. It's just a reminder, isn't it? There's a sort of selfishness about selfies, obviously, but in the taking, it's kind of like just thrusting your arm out. And every year the same thing happens. I mean, you could argue there's always obstacles on a course, and you always narcissism and stupidity, Vanessa Wild. I mean, there's always obstructions. Someone always gets hit. I mean, I'm amazed it doesn't happen more often.
I mean, I can completely understand just the excitement. Say you...
Minky Moo, how can you take a selfie at that speech? She wasn't racing.
She was watching.
I think she was taking one of her and she was having to get a blur of them
I can understand how she was excited. She wants to get a shot. I mean, this is the thing. I am not like one of these mad, obviously we get asked a lot when we're out and about, or even Nanny Di does now, to do selfies. And there's an awful lot of people in our business go, these people asking for selfies. But I get it. You meet somebody that you enjoy watching, or whatever, and it's like, can I have a selfie? I don't actually have a problem with it. I really don't. And most people that do it don't then think you can stand there for an hour and talk.
Everyone's
people
really
are like,
respectful.
Thanks, and they go, I don't have a problem. And I understand they want to go in there. That woman off the telly.
It's the
I met
modern
her
day-
today in Sainsbury's and showed the photo.
I think it's very benign. I think it's the modern day version of autograph
I
hunting.
totally no, but also
someone asks
of
for your
just
autograph.
recording things. Now we
that's
have
right.
become a bit obsessed, and I do think sometimes we're missing feeling something because we're taking a photograph. Last year, I went to that, what's it called, secret cinema.
Tawny Harvey.
Secret cinema, where you are not allowed a
Camera.
You have to hand your phone in,
Apart
right?
from when they let us into film for Star Wars.
Yeah, and it was called, what's that film I watched? I went to see the dancing.
Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Dancing, and it was filled with all sorts of ages, but a lot of young adults, and I was really moved by the atmosphere, Mark. I just kept going, oh my God, nobody's filming anything. Because you know when you go and see stuff sometimes and people are just going like that and they're almost dead-faced, like recording it. And sometimes I go into a place, God, why are you doing that? And I think, no, because people want to share things with people. It's like whenever I go somewhere and you're not there,
Yeah.
I'm always like, oh, Mark would love this, or Mum and Dad. Oh, you know, the last holiday we were on, I was like, oh, Dad would love this bar. Dad would love this. And I sort of start filming myself to show it. So it's something that we now have available to us. So though I called her a blithering idiot, do I actually mean it? Probably not. Oh my God, the heavens have
The
just
heavens
opened.
have just suddenly
Oh
opened.
my God.
Wow. Oh, that's so good for the
That's
garden.
rain.
That's rain. I feel
chairs
very
in.
benevolently about the whole kind of, taking a selfie is absolutely fine. I think it's really sweet. And I think charting where you are is absolutely fine too. I don't think that's a problem. I think it is a modern day form of kind of, well, it's taking photos. We've always taken photos since God at time
It's just that
immemorial.
more of us can do it now
Yeah.
because we have a camera.
But
with
I
us
think
all
if
the
you've got a million cyclists riding behind you at breakneck speed, just think about your space, you Burke.
I can't believe that weather. That's
no.
us talking about the weather.
Final couple of and finalies. This tragic story that you pulled up, Nadia, about this 55 pilot whales that have died after a mass stranding on a Western Isles beach. For any animal lovers out there.
Well, every human being would
But
be
I thought what was
horrified
so
by this.
sweet is that they talk about how they have such a sense of community that one of them that they believe was struggling with a vaginal prolapse started to sort of move in towards land because I think for whatever reason confused in a terrible state of distress, and all the others followed. And so 12 of the 55 are still alive, but the others have sadly washed up and died in is it St. Louis?
Very
Lewis?
deserted. Isn't
Yeah,
it
the
a
Isle of
beautiful
Lewis.
place? Look
Yeah.
at that.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a woman talking on Radio 4 this morning. She was, I can't tell you what an awful, awful sight it was to actually be there and
Oh, I bet.
witness that. Can you
I bet.
imagine?
I bet.
Yeah.
And finally, guys, I just
This
wanted to
is
share.
fascinating.
Yeah, Jane Birkin.
I had no idea. Does anybody here know where the Birkin, how the Birkin bag came about?
Well, now they do.
What?
Jane Birkin.
No, but I don't know. the
Oh, I
story.
see. Well, yeah, Jane Birkin tragically died at the weekend. She was 76, possibly most famous
Young.
for her relationship, terrible to say, but, her relationship with Serge Gainsbourg, whatever his name is. Je t'aime. I mean, who doesn't remember Je t'aime, which got banned everywhere. Sort of.
So beautiful. I love that
beautiful.
kind of face.
And her daughter Charlotte Gainsbourg is obviously an actress and a singer too.
76, so young.
76 is so
What did she
so
die of?
young,
Do we
so
know?
young. It doesn't actually say, but obviously it was a tumultuous relationship she had with Serge Gainsbourg. He had a huge alcohol problem, temper tantrums, etc. But there's a story here about how the Birkin handbag came about, and I just thought this was amazing because the reason I know about Birkins is Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Faith Goodman, absolutely.
They always talk about it
Always
on
talking
there,
about
don't
Birkins and their stupid price. So she was a model, and she had a chance encounter on an Air France flight, sitting next to Jean-Louis Dumas, the then CEO, Chief Executive Officer of Hermes, when she spilled the contents of her bag. When she did so, she bemoaned the lack of large bags on the market for mothers, and Dumas immediately sketched a supple and spacious rectangular holdall with a burnished flap and saddle stitching, according to the Hermes website. So
I wonder if she became
thus they called it the Birkin.
disgusted. I would be disgusted if something named after me had got to the level that it's got, where they're hundreds of thousands of pounds.
Quite frightening, isn't it?
I mean, it's just disgusting.
I always thought it was a merkin, but of course
Shame
that's
on-
something completely different, isn't it? A
Shame
merkin?
on anyone, however fucking rich you are, to
Yeah.
spend £100,000 on a fucking bag.
What about look at that? What about a Birkin merkin?
Maybe I think you've got to show them
A
the rain. Now
Merkin
we've said it so
Birkin.
many times.
Come and have a look. Come and have a look. Let me just show you the ranks. It's quite something.
I've got to run out there and bring the chairs in.
So there you go, guys. There you go.
Rain, rain.
Rain, rain. Anyway.
Guys, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you're listening on podcast. Come over and see us on YouTube. And wait 1 second. You still have a chance until midnight to win.
Tomorrow.
There's 2 people that can win.
Midnight tomorrow.
Midnight tomorrow. £25 Tesco's vouchers. Just watch the Curly Cuts Croydon from Saturday. And there is a question in there that you just answer by underneath the video. And then 2 lucky winners will be chosen midnight Tuesday.
Have a lovely day, guys, and we will see you elsewhere on the channel.